For 14 long years, there's been an unwritten rule between Tottenham and West Ham. Not since Scott Parker way back in 2011 has a player moved directly between the two clubs. That's no coincidence. It's a product of a rivalry that runs deep. West Ham were, to put it mildly, deeply reluctant to sell to Spurs. Their fans on social media were clear: anyone but them. So for Tottenham to not just go after this deal, but to force it through for a whopping £55 million is a huge statement of intent. This wasn't just about ending a long-standing transfer embargo, it was about winning a fight. Both Chelsea and Newcastle had shown serious interest in Kudus, a player everyone agrees is one of the most exciting talents out there. For Spurs to swoop in and win the race, locking him into a 6-year deal, shows a new level of power and decisiveness in the transfer market. It's a clear sign that with Thomas Frank at the helm, Tottenham are ready to be aggressive and get the players they want, no matter who stands in their way. On top of that, West Ham's hand was a bit forced. While Kudus had an £85 million release clause, the club needed to raise cash to fund their own rebuild under the new financial rules. Spurs saw their chance, had an initial £50 million bid knocked back, but stayed at the table until they got their man. They spotted a moment of weakness and took full advantage. Exactly what you'd expect from a club that's rediscovered its confidence. This signing also comes right after one of the strangest seasons in Tottenham's recent history. A brilliant run in Europe ended in glory, but their Premier League form somehow fell off a cliff, leading to a shocking 17th place finish. A major reset was desperately needed, and Kudus, the third signing of the Thomas Frank era after 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞 and Mathys Tel, looks like the first big piece of that puzzle. Section 2. The player, a tactical chameleon. So what are Spurs actually getting for their £55 million? Well, for starters, a player you can't just stick in one box. Mohammed Kudus is, simply put, a tactical chameleon. At just 24, the Ghanaian is a blur of attacking energy with a magical left foot, and he can cause damage from literally anywhere across the front line. He can be an inverted winger on the right, a classic winger on the left, a number 10, or even a false 9. And this isn't just theory. He's done it all. At both Ajax and West Ham, managers used his incredible versatility, which makes him an absolute dream for a coach. His best trait? It has to be his dribbling. Even in a chaotic 2024-25 season for West Ham, Kudus was statistically one of the very best players in the entire league at taking a defender on and beating them. He's got that explosive burst of speed and a low center of gravity that lets him glide past people, creating panic and opening up tons of space for his teammates. He's not just doing it for show either. He's constantly driving the ball into the one place that matters, the opponent's penalty box. But don't think for a second he's just a flashy dribbler. In 65 Premier League games for West Ham, he chipped in with 13 goals and 12 assists, which is a great return for someone in a team that was often struggling. His movement off the ball is just as good. He makes these clever, late runs into the box and just seems to know where the ball's going to drop. He's the kind of player who can create a goal out of thin air, a game changer who doesn't wait for an invitation to take over. As he said himself, he wants to be different and entertain the fans, name-dropping the Nigerian legend 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞 as his hero. That tells you everything you need to know about his fearless style. Think about Spurs' other attackers. Dejan Kulusevski has the craft, but Kudus adds raw pace and a killer instinct for goal. Brennan Johnson has that straight-line speed, but Kudus, being left-footed, cutting in from the right, that creates brand-new problems for defenders. He's the piece they were missing, the guy who brings a totally different and, frankly, more dangerous dimension to their attack. CTA. Before we get into how Kudus is the perfect weapon for Tottenham's new manager, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the strategy behind the transfer, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. We're breaking down all the biggest moves and tactical shifts in football, and you won't want to miss what's next. Section 3, the manager, The Thomas
The
Frank
Thomas
blueprint.
Frank era at
You
Tottenham
can't really
has
get the
begun.
Kudus signing
It's
without
super exciting.
understanding the new man in the
It's a
dugout,
massive club,
Thomas Frank.
huge club.
Hiring
A
Frank
calm
was a
man
clear
walking
pivot
into
from
the
the
storm that is
𝐭𝐡𝐢𝐤
Spurs.
era.
A club where after
Ange was
winning
an
a European
idealist,
trophy for
glued
the
to
first time in
one
17
attacking
years,
philosophy.
they still sacked
Frank is
their
a
manager.
master of
That's Spurs for you.
pragmatism
But
and tactical innovation. His whole reputation at Brentford was built on flexibility, defensive grit, and creating systems that were smarter than the sum of their parts. And Mohammed Kudus fits into that blueprint like a master key. Frank's Brentford teams were famous for switching things up, flipping between a 4-3-3 and a 3-5-2, sometimes even mid-match. He needs players who work hard, press intelligently, and can turn defense into a blistering attack in a split second. Kudus was practically built for this. Stick him on the right in a 4-3-3, and he'll cut inside on that wicked left foot all day long, stretching the defense and creating lanes for guys like James Maddison to exploit. But what if Frank wants to switch to a 5-3-2? No problem. Kudus can play as one of the two strikers or as the most attacking midfielder, using his dribbling to terrorize defenders right in the heart of their defense. That kind of adaptability is priceless. It means Frank can change his entire attacking shape without even making a substitution. Facing a team that parks the bus? Use Kudus's one-on-one magic to break them down. Playing a team with a high line? Use his pace to get in behind. Frank loves players who create numerical superiority, basically 2v1 situations. Kudus is a natural at this because the moment he gets the ball, he draws defenders to him, which automatically frees up someone else. Frank also demands his attackers work their socks off defensively, and this is an area where Kudus is already buying in, with the manager praising his effort in preseason. Frank is building a disciplined, adaptable, and brutally efficient machine, and in Kudus, he's found the perfect engine. Section 4. The Ambition, a declaration of war. Let's be honest about what this transfer really is. It's a declaration of war. A club doesn't spend £55 million on one player after a disastrous domestic season if the goal is just to sneak back into the top half. No, this is a calculated power play. It's designed to fast-track Tottenham's return to the Premier League's top tier and to actually challenge for the biggest trophies. Think about the context. Spurs managed to secure Champions League football for the 2025-26 season through their European performances. So this isn't a signing made out of panic. It's a power move made from a position of renewed European strength to make sure that shocking league form was a one-time thing. The club is sending a clear message. The Champions League isn't the goal anymore. It's the standard. They're not just here to take part. They're building a squad that can fight on all fronts. Winning the battle for his signature against rivals like Chelsea and Newcastle is a huge psychological victory. In recent years, those clubs have flexed serious financial muscle. For Tottenham to step into that ring and come out with the prize reestablishes them as a top destination for elite talent. This signing feels like a final break from the cautious, sometimes frustrating, transfer strategy of the past. It's decisive, it's expensive, and it's a massive vote of confidence in the new manager. It shows that the board and Daniel Levy get it. To hang with the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, and Manchester City, you can't afford to hesitate. You have to be bold. You have to be aggressive. And sometimes you have to make a £55 million statement. Conclusion. So why did Tottenham really spend £55 million on Mohammed Kudus? Because the answer is so much bigger than just one player. It was about shattering a 14-year stalemate with a rival and proving they could go toe-to-toe with their richest competitors and win. It was about bringing in a one-of-a-kind tactical weapon, a 24-year-old game changer whose skill, speed, and versatility are the perfect raw ingredients for Thomas Frank's new system. And most importantly, it was a declaration that a European trophy was just the beginning, not the end. A declaration that finishing 17th in the league was a complete and utter failure that would be fixed with immediate, heavy investment. That £55 million isn't just a fee, it's an investment in a new, higher standard. It's the price of ambition. And for Tottenham Hotspur, it's the price of declaring war on the Premier League's old guard. The question now is, with Kudus as their new weapon, who will be their next target?